I've been shopping. G'day avocado enthusiasts and welcome to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. My goal on this channel is to grow an avocado tree from seed to the point of bearing fruit whilst documenting the process. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll know that avocados aren't true to seed, meaning that the fruit on the tree that you grow is not the same as the fruit that it came from. Which means that there's a chance that the fruit will be good, but there's a more likely chance that it'll be pretty ordinary, not great fruit. But it's still a great journey to be on anyway. But I love avocados and I want to get some guaranteed fruit. I have done some shopping to do this. I want to grow some avocado trees on my patio, on my balcony. And I wanted to get some avocados that I could potentially get the fruit and harvest it from, hopefully in the next few years, to do this. To guarantee the kind of fruit that I would get, I wanted some trees that were cultivated, that were grafted. And I wanted to go to a nursery for this one. I didn't visit a nursery physically, I decided to go online. It is spring in Australia now. It's not been too hot in Victoria at least, so I thought now is a good time to get this. I would not want to be buying plants in the middle of summer because it can get very, very hot, but we haven't really had a lot of temperatures above 25 degrees Celsius, so I was feeling fairly confident about shipping plants during this period of time. I went to Daly's Fruit Nursery online. They are a nursery that's based in northern New South Wales, reasonably tropical, and they sell all kinds of fruit trees. I've gone through them before and their service is great. So I bought 2 avocado trees that we're going to open today. Why did I buy 2 trees and not just one? Well, avocado flowers are weird. Pollination needs to happen for fruit to grow, and avocado flowers are strange. I made a video going into all the information. There's a link in the description below. They're weird. And you need 2 complementary varieties. Essentially, an avocado flower in some varieties is effectively male in the morning and female in the afternoon, and therefore can't pollinate itself. And the opposite is true for other ones, where they're female in the morning and male in the afternoon. So you need 2 complementary varieties in order to get fruit. So I have gone and done that. Let's open this up and see how they're looking. They've come in a fairly big box. I mean, check that out. I'm gonna go from the top, I think. So let me actually, maybe I'll put this one down here so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. I've gone and bought 2 trees that are in 2-litre pots. So they're not massive, they're fairly young. And I'll talk about the price and things once I've got into it. So I'm just gonna open it up from the top. I will say I'm really happy with the packaging. I have purchased through these folks before. It was a few years ago, and I reckon the packaging is better. Like cardboard, obviously better than shipping in plastic. Lots of breathing holes. It clearly shows that it is live plants. You can even see the leaves through it. They're fruit trees after all. They don't need to be like packed down super tightly. And okay, there's a lot of foliage in here. One of them at least is pretty well the height of this box, which I'm pretty happy with for the price that I paid. Let's get into it and talk a bit more about them. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got. Now, they have clearly been in the dark for a few days, so we'll see how they've fared based on that. They've been shipped inside a bag. It's not a plastic bag, it is a compostable bag, which I like. Just obviously not to drip water throughout the cardboard box, which will, you know, start destroying it. So I'll pull them both out at once, holding onto their pots, if they have pots. They feel very soft actually, but hey, there we are. It does have a fact sheet about unwrapping these and setting up for success, so we'll keep that one. But I have already been onto their website to have a look, so we're set and ready to go. I've got the receipt as well, it's nice. Now I've got some avocado trees in these bags. Let's see what we've got. I am not sure if they are in pots actually. That will make this interesting. Okay, so I'll get into it, and if I need to pot them up, that's perfect actually. So I was expecting them to come in plastic pots. Oh no, they are in pots, they're just soft pots, like grow bags. And that is going to change how I do this slightly. Okay, first inspection. We've still got some grafting tape on from the graft, which is fine, but the graft sections themselves look pretty good. There's a little bit of darkening on the wood around some parts of it, so that's not ideal. But looking at up here, we've got lots of new growth and lots of growth points coming out. So that's actually, I'm not too worried about that one. Let's unwrap the rest of this and we'll talk about what we've got here. Let's talk about what we have. So I spent $54 Australian dollars per tree. So both of these trees cost me $108 plus shipping. I wanted to get them here faster, so I paid for express shipping, which was reasonably expensive. It was about $63, so more than the price of one of these trees for the shipping. I get it, I wanted it in a hurry. There were much cheaper options, but I wanted to get it in time so I could film the video and so on. And I didn't want to be in the post for too long, but I went for the most expensive option, I get it. So both of these trees were $54, and for the size that we've got, I'm pretty happy with that. There's a lot of new growth on both of the trees, which is great. They're both looking like they've been in a box, which again, they have. So I'm not super surprised. I'm expecting them to perk up a little more now that they're out of their box, and they'll be able to, get sunlight and things. Looks, it's still got a bit of grafting tape. So, they're not super old grafts, but looking at all of the new growth, that's fine. Everything is traveling pretty well, and it's inspecting the growth of the graft. It looks like we are, pretty well established. I'll work on taking that off at some point. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that for a while. I reckon it could probably still benefit from being held in there for a little bit longer because they are looking like reasonably recent grafts, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. What have I got? So I've got these two trees that cost me $54 each. I've got a Hass or a Haas, depending on how you say it here. This is an A variety, and I've got a Shepherd, which is a B variety here. And I'm, really happy with how they are looking, and we're going to get them situated in their new homes. I'm not going to repot them today. Moving is a really stressful experience for a plant. Plants in nature don't move, or they do move in the sense that they grow and they can move in different directions with their limbs. Certain plants can. There's all sorts of ways that they move, and I made a video on That's Pretty Cool about that. It was on That's Pretty Cool. I've made videos on both channels actually, because I've talked about nyctinastic movement. There's links in the description below if you want to learn about how plants move, but they don't locomote. They don't move like we walk. And actually there are very good reasons for that. It turns out that photosynthesis is great for supporting a tree, but it doesn't produce enough energy that could support something that could move the amount of leaf mass that a plant would need if it were able to walk. The people who've done the maths would be enormous, and then therefore the trunks would need to be bigger, so the leaves would need to be bigger. It becomes a problem. Ants couldn't exist unless they were magic, but they couldn't exist because the energy that would be required to move them would be phenomenal, and photosynthesis and leaves aren't actually good enough at producing energy to do that, but they're great for when they're stationary. What that is to say, plants don't usually move, not in nature anyway, so I need to give them time to not be as stressed out. So going from subtropical New South Wales to temperate Victoria, it's quite a change, and it's actually a climate change. They've moved to a new climate, not just being in a box for a week and moving around. So all of this stressful for the plant. I'm going to give them a bit of time before I do any repotting to let them settle in. If they came in harder pots, I was gonna give them like the whole season, but because they're in these grow bags, I'll repot them a little sooner. So that's fine. I'll still do that in the spring, but I'll give them a couple of weeks to settle in. I'll keep them watered when they dry out. They're gonna be outside, so they will dry out faster, especially as the weather starts warming up, and that's going to be fine. These are gonna live on my patio. It's a north-facing patio, but there is a privacy screen which will provide the shelter that these need. Avocados in the wild grow in groves. They don't like to be in high wind conditions, and they also don't like too much sun. They can deal with a few hours of direct light a day, but they don't want sun all day, so the privacy screen is going to cut down the amount of direct light that they're getting, which will be okay. It's by no means a dark spot. Using my light reader, it's quite a bright spot, which will be great for these. I'm hoping that I can have some just really beautiful little trees on my patio that I can harvest fruit from in a couple of years' time. These are very young still. It's going to take them a couple of years to mature. It wouldn't surprise me because they're grafted if I start getting flowers in the next year or two. I don't think I can see any popping out just yet. It wouldn't surprise me if I get them in the next couple of years, but I'm not going to let it fruit for a while because the branches are still very small. So that's enough talking, I think. I think it's time to take them to where they will be situated more permanently. All right, let's do it. And here we are. So I've got them outside now. It's currently, late afternoon, almost evening, and it's starting to get a little darker. It's pretty shady in this particular spot here, and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough light, especially when it's warmer and hotter during the day. I think that it's probably going to get enough light out here. My light reader certainly shows that we're getting high levels of light here, but I'm going to, assess the situation. If they need to move to a slightly brighter spot, I can find them one over time. Over the next couple of weeks, I am going to not repot them. I'm going to make sure they are watered, that is letting the soil dry out reasonably well, and I'm probably going to be watering every few days. It's starting to warm up here. I don't know, when we're outside, the potting mix in the bags is going to dry out faster than when they are inside. So I'm just going to be monitoring that one and giving them a good drink when they need it, especially as the weather starts to warm up here. And then in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be ready to put them into their new pots because I'm not going to keep them in the bags for the next year. I don't think that's a great idea. So let's check back in a couple of weeks' time and do some repotting. All right, avocado enthusiasts, it has now been 2 weeks since I unboxed these avocado trees, so it's time to repot them. They're still in their bags, so I'm gonna be taking them out of their bags today and putting them into these pots. The pots are a bit bigger than the bags, not heaps bigger. I don't like to size up too quickly. If I were keeping them inside, I would probably actually go the size smaller, but because I'm keeping them outside, I think I can allow them to dry out quick enough. If you're interested in thinking about what size pot you should use when you're upsizing your avocado tree, check out my video where I talk all about that. There's a link in the description below. But for now, we're going to repot them. I'm using my regular potting mix, which is these days about 2 parts perlite, 1 part coconut peat, and 1 part cheap potting mix with a good bit of slow release fertilizer mixed in there as well. I'm going to stop talking now and get these into their pots. Okay, yeah, these are looking like they're pretty well due for a repot. They've got a good amount of roots kind of coiling around the base of the pot, or the bag, which is a good indicator that they're ready to go. So we've had a little bit of root die off, which I am a little cautious about, but there's a lot of good, healthy white roots. So I'm just gonna make sure that it is going into well-draining soil, of course, and that I'm watering it when necessary, because it looks like I've got a little bit of root die off, but there's a lot of new root as well. So I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm going to just give the roots I'm just going to give the roots a tickle to help them start branching out and not continue grow in their current patterns before we put it into the new potting mix. Pop it into there, nice, and we'll backfill it now. Okay, that's one done, and now we'll do the second one. Okay, this one's root system is looking pretty good. I'm happy with how this one has come out. Okay, it's now time to water them and put them back in their permanent positions. And here they are. They're now in their position on my patio where they will remain for the foreseeable future. I'm really keen to really make my patio a really lush green space, and I think that having some avocado trees out here is just going to be a perfect way to do it. And because they're grafted, there's a good chance that in the future I'll be able to harvest my own avocados from my own balcony, which I think is a really lovely idea. I'm really happy with these avocado trees. They've come in a really good condition. I know buying plants online always comes comes with that element of risk, but I'm really happy with the condition that they arrived in and how they've been doing since they have arrived. So I'm really happy by using dailies again, and I hope that I've given you some ideas for if you want to get your own avocados and buy them online as well. It's all reasonably straightforward. It's important to choose an appropriately sized pot that is well draining, put it in well draining soil, and then choose a spot that gets a good amount of light but not too much direct light. So on my patio here, it should be perfect for these avocado trees. I am really excited to see how they grow. I'm keen for them to get big and to be able to shape the branches a bit. Obviously they're growing in a fairly tight space, so I don't want them to get too massive, but I'm keen to be able to shape those over the next few years and hopefully in a few years time harvest avocados. I think that would be just delight. I would love to know what you thought about this video in the comments below and with the like button. And if you'd like to see more avocado content, I invite you to subscribe to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. And I'm also on Instagram at Scott Grows an Avocado Tree if you want to follow me over there. If you just want to see more of me, I am also on my second channel, That's Pretty Cool, where I make videos about all kinds of different things that inspire in me a sense of curiosity and wonder. And I think that if you enjoy these kind of videos where I explain things and explore different things and ask questions, you would really enjoy that channel as well. That's where I'm going to leave it for today though, avocado enthusiasts. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and we'll see you next time.
Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree.